Feels weird in here. Hello out there. We're on the air. Welcome back, everybody. Happy Monday. We live? We got everything good here? No, we don't. Good thing I checked. Good thing I checked. All right, how's that sound? That's got to be a little bit better. Holy man, I need to get my shit together here a little bit. I think that's better. We should be connected. We were originally connected to the webcam. We don't need that. We good? Okay, we're good. What's the title today? Let's get Zapstream involved. Anybody want to have Zapstream today? I think we should. All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Clean your machine. Happy Family Day. Oh, yeah, it is. It is. We're going to title that one today. Working on a holiday. That's the goal for today. What can we get to? I say 800,000 sats. But let's just make sure that we're live there. Santino, Phil, Tom, Killer. Zapstream is live. We already got a Zap over there. And it is from Letha. Letha's in both chats this morning. Of course, Letha's in both chats. Bodie's in the chat. Morning, Bodie. Knox Bill. Rising River, formerly Lazy River. Good. Okay, I wasn't talking out of my ass there then. That's good. I thought that was you. Happy President's Day. What's with that Canadian hockey team? Sending sass to the big dog. We got the big dog's wallet here somewhere. Yes, we do. Arnie's live today. Not here yet, but he's going to show up. He's going to show up. What is with the Americans? Ooh, that's a fat zap if that was from you, Rising River. My goodness. What a start to the week. Letha Zap 420 sats over on Zapstream. If you are in Zapstream, say hello. And we got a fat zap here, a very fat zap, 25,000 sats to our guy, Arnie. Love that. Actually, on that note, we're going to do something special here today because that is very generous. That is a very generous zap. And so what we're going to do, we're going to start this today. I've been waiting for the right time to start this, and I think that zap is the best way to start. So in 2024, we did it for a couple months, I'd say. But every Monday we would do all the zaps would go to our rescue dog fund. And I think we got about 150,000 sats in there. I haven't done the best job I split it into a different wallet. I don't know what the balance is anymore, but I might just round it up to 200,000 sats and just contribute some of my own into that. But anyways, these sats today are going to go to the rescue dogs. I've decided that. So that fat zap from Rising River, that's going to the rescue dogs. So we're going to start a fund, and we're just going to sit on it for, I don't know, a couple years, maybe more. And then eventually when the time is right, we're going to help a lot of dogs with that. That's the plan. So all the zaps today, including that 25,000 sat zap, are going to go to the rescue dogs. I think that's the right thing to do. So cheers. Thank you for that. And I will keep everybody up to date. We'll get a new tracker going for it, and we'll have the balance every Monday for everybody. So thank you for that. Ballsy Golf. Good morning, Bitcoiners. How about the banks of Canada and Montreal buying into strategy? Big stuff, I think. I think so too. We're going to be talking about that today. We got a couple of different buyers of strategy. Sorry, Donnie. Good morning. Morning, Matt. And yes, we are live. And we got $52,000 in here as well. Let's let Nostr know that we're live too, so we can really increase our zaps for the rescue dogs today. Nostr's got money, don't they? It's a thriving community full of rich people. Buck 52,000. Good morning. Wow. I accidentally just looked at the YouTube. We got 40 people in here and 9 likes. I wouldn't say that's good. We can do better than that. What was I doing here? Nostr. Amethyst. Okay. Hey, Craig's in the chat. Good morning, Craig. Great to see you, my friend. Great to see you. And we got Jay here too. Morning, Jay. All right, let's start with the mempool. See what's going on in the Bitcoin network. Keep in mind a couple different things, but the main one, keep in mind with the mempool, is that this is just specifically for layer 1. So if you're sending Bitcoin like Rise and River did here, that's not on layer 1. That's a Lightning transaction. That does not get picked up on layer 1. So that's important when you're thinking about the future of like what kind of information, what kind of transactions will be on layer 1. And it's the ones that you want to stick around. Hey, we just saw a block happen there. Via BTC, congrats. But these are the transactions you send that you want to be there for a very long time. Live there forever, essentially. Very important. You want it to be very secure, willing to pay a little bit more, wait a little longer. That's what you use Bitcoin layer 1 for. And depending on how busy it is, that's how many fees you have to pay to get into a block, to get your transaction into a block. So we're currently at 884,193, which means there's been 884,193 blocks since January 3rd, 2009, the Genesis block of Bitcoin. And it looks like we've caught up to the difficulty. We were about 35 blocks behind on Friday or Thursday, whenever that was. But we're ahead now. We're back. The network's buzzing. Hash rate's buzzing. So it's good to see. That's a good indication. And that's it. Good time to be consolidating if you need to. Said it a lot. It's not like people are consolidating on the daily. Hey, look at this. We got another fat zap here for the dogs. Hell yeah. I think it's a good way to start the week because historically, typically the Mondays, Tuesdays are usually a little bit lower for the zaps. So we get a 10,000 sat zap for the rescue dogs, for the pups. So thank you for that. That is awesome. So we're definitely now, I think after this show, I think we're around 140, 150. I'll probably just round it up to 200K, and that's going to be our starting point. I think that makes the most sense. I have the wallet still. I probably have the Excel sheet, but I missed a lot of weeks, so I got to catch up on my own a little bit here. Mert said, when will we be chatting and drinking beer on a fire on a beach in El Salvador? I'm really hoping still to do some sort of it might not happen this year though, because I'm still planning to go to Vegas in May. So that's kind of going to be my trip for the year. But 2026, maybe fall 2025, we'll see. But we're definitely going to have some sort of a meetup for the Living the Future community. Anybody who wants to show up there. So let's keep her going here. That was the mempool. I'm going to start doing a little bit more structure to these shows, I've decided. I have to take this stuff a little bit more seriously. I know I've been trying. I mean, outside of showing up every day, including on holidays here in Canada. But I need a little bit more structure. I need to take this stuff a little bit more seriously. From my agent, which is myself. All right, Craig, look at this. We got a fat zap from Craig over on Zapstream. 2,100 sats for the Rescue Dog Fund. Thank you, Craig. Very generous of you. Very generous of you, my friend. And we got Jerry Loves Trump, who we're going to actually... Is it possible to block this guy? Let's ban him. See you later. Nice to see you. Holiday in the U.S. Yeah, there's holiday here too, Jay. It's called Family Day for most of Canada, but Louis Riel Day here in Manitoba. Brennan says, set up my multisig over the weekend. Been on the to-do list for a long, long time. Feels good. Reminded me and everyone else, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Amen to that. Amen to that. By the way, I would say that multisig's probably the most important thing for people. This is something that everybody should be working towards here in this community. If you're here now, you probably have a decent amount of Bitcoin. And there's no better way to store it than with multisig. There's nothing that even comes close of removing that single point of failure where if your house burned down, if somebody broke into your house, if somebody hacked your wallet, that's just one signature to move Bitcoin. You need two at least, though, with a multisig. So if you do need help with that, by the way, we got at least 5 people who can help you with that at Bitcoin Citadel. Website's close. The website, I know I've been saying this for a couple weeks, and it's not like there's going to be a huge rush of people going to it, but it's exciting. It's really exciting to me to see this kind of come together here. And I do think that in a couple of years from now, we're going to be one of the bigger advisory firms. We'll probably have a lot more people working with us, but we got to start somewhere. So if you are at least thinking about going to multisig, or even if you need a hardware device to get started, that's kind of the first step there. I would say you start with like a hot wallet, like a mobile wallet or like a Sparrow wallet. And then you move to a single signature hardware device, like a Cold Card Jade Foundation. And then from there, you move it into a multisig. So that device becomes one of 3 signatures in your new setup. And then of course you encrypt your backups, but that's a whole process. But if you need help with hardware device setup, multisig setup, if you are already past that and you want to get into the encryption super back stuff, we're going to have somebody who can help you with all of that for a very, very reasonable price. So it's exciting to me. And I guess in the meantime, that's website will 100% be up this week. But in the meantime, if you want to book something, or if you just want a little bit more information, maybe get a second opinion on kind of how you're storing your Bitcoin right now, you can just shoot me an email, joe@bitcoincitadel.net. And I'm happy to send over a 30-minute link for a call, and we can just chat. Value for value. Morrow, good morning. Unknown disciple, how much Bitcoin should we have before we decide to run our own node? That's a really good question, actually. And I don't think that there's like an amount that you should have. I don't know. I've a couple different rules within Bitcoin. One of them is the conferences, which is I think everybody should get through one Bitcoin cycle before you go to a Bitcoin conference. For the average person, if you got a lot of money and money is not a real problem for you, then go nuts. Same with a node. But I think that when you're first just getting into Bitcoin, there's so much stuff that you need to know just to protect your own Bitcoin. Plus, you're kind of at the point where you're wanting to get as much Bitcoin as you possibly can. So there are very cheap ways that you can run your own node. But for me, like I waited a while and I got my Start9 server here, which I run the node off of now. So I waited. I really don't think there's any huge rush. Again, it's very much like multisig. It's just you kind of get there with time. It's nothing that you rush into that you need to worry about. It's just something that happens over time. So I wouldn't say there's like an amount or a time frame on it. Whenever you get to the point where you think that you can buy a server instead of Bitcoin, that's when you should think about it. But absolutely everybody should be running their own Bitcoin node eventually here. Jay says, I'm finally on multisig and completely on metal. Attaboy. And I think, based on our chats, maybe encryption someday soon. Encryption is the way. Bodie says, US waiting for the final for Canada. It'll be a big deal if they win. I'm looking forward to that too. I think Canada has to win today, though. I think the game's at noon for them to sneak into the finals there. Hey, Spaceman's over in the Zap stream too. Morning, Spaceman. Buck52 says, had dinner with an old friend over the weekend. He showed me his Bitcoin stack via Coinbase. He's had it on the exchange for 5+ years. Yeah, you know what? I think that's pretty common for a lot of people. And I really don't think it's the worst thing in the world because it's been there for 5 years. And I know we give Coinbase a lot of shit. I do myself. But his Bitcoin's there. If he had rushed things and tried to do things too fast and get a hardware device and figure it out and, hide the key here, put the device there, he might actually have lost that Bitcoin in the 5 years. Very realistically. I don't recommend people leave their Bitcoin on exchange for 5 years, but you should leave it there until you kind of have an idea of what you're doing. And just like driving a car for the first time, you don't buy Bitcoin. You don't start learning to drive a car on the highway. You don't buy Bitcoin and just take self-custody of it that day, in my opinion. When you're learning to drive, you have somebody right beside you. You drive around the parking lot for a while. They can slam on the brakes if you're doing something stupid. I think people should apply that same principle to Bitcoin, where if you do have a sizable amount, either you leave it on the exchange for a while or you hire somebody. You have a buddy there who's been through it 100 times and they can help you make sure you're taking the right steps. You know what you're doing. You have everything that you need to do it properly. So yes, I agree. It's probably pretty bad practice to have it there for 5 years, but he still has it. And I know, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but several people in my life who bought a lot of Bitcoin, tried securing it themselves before they knew what they were doing, and actually ended up losing the keys to the Bitcoin. It's happening says, need to set up a multisig, dreading making a mistake and losing my Bitcoin. That's what I mean. Like for the amount that you really can't put a price on this sort of protection and security and making sure that you do have your Bitcoin in 20 or 25 years from now. It's so easy to buy Bitcoin. It's easy to move it to a wallet, but it's very hard to make sure that you have that Bitcoin in 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now. That's the point of this whole thing. And so even if you're buying a bunch now and you have a big balance, if you're not protecting it properly, it's pretty much worthless. So that's why Bitcoin Citadel exists. We have people who have set up multisigs numerous times before and are very comfortable in doing so. And so for the cost of that, to have somebody walk you through it, make sure you're doing all the steps, kind of a second set of eyes, making sure that you're not missing anything that you should, backing the right things up, absolutely worth it. Without even a question. So again, just reach out. Just reach out, see if it makes sense for you. We can just set up a quick call, see where you're at, see where you want to go, and figure out the best way to get there. Just put help. Shoot me an email, say help, and we'll set up a call. Oh, Daniel, look at this. The fat zaps are rolling in today, folks, for the dogs. I guess it's been a while, so people have been missing. Daniel with a fat zap of 8,888 sats for the pups. Thank you, Daniel. Daniel says, just finished digging out from 18 inches of the white stuff. And for people who don't know Daniel, that is not cocaine that he's talking about. That is snow, and I wish you could see the snow here. It's been the worst winter ever here. Ever. Morrow says it is very important to seek help on a multisig, seek guidance and retest everything. I appreciate Jor making this clear. Multisig is peak security if done right, 100%. And then you mix into that super backed. Jay says, correct, I will be a super back customer. It just makes the most sense. For anybody who actually understands multisig super back, there's no better way to protect your Bitcoin. There's really not. And when you're dealing with an asset like Bitcoin, the best asset that has ever existed in human history before, you have to take this stuff seriously. You have to protect it properly. Howard says you should run your own Bitcoin node when content creators can't teach you more about Bitcoin. Because running your own node can teach you a lot about Bitcoin. That's a good point. It's a good point. I hate the term content creator. We need something better than that. I will never refer to myself as a content creator, ever. Even though what I do all day is create content to help people, but I can't stand that phrase, like influencer too. Oh my God. Crypto Hera, lovely people. Beware Trump. He ain't a crypto Jesus. I wrote a risk census until 2030 on my Medium blog. Most of us underestimate geopolitical risks. Bitcoin might have a midget run only to 150K. Yeah, maybe. Jimmy Marr. I thought Canadians were supposed to be good hockey players. Well, I mean, you got the best hockey players in the world playing against each other. It was a 3-1 game with an empty netter. I don't think we have much to worry about. But the U.S. has definitely had our number lately, that's for sure. We'll see. We'll see in the finals, I guess. All right, let's give away a little bit of Bitcoin here. I don't know if you guys were watching the stream or not on Friday night. We had a couple beers and one whiskey, but I ended up doing something really stupid. And that was I tossed in 5 coins into the wishing well. I was trying to snap our 210 sat cold streak that we were on, our coldie. And I just kept throwing tosses into the wishing well. Now I burned a bunch of them. I don't even know if I'm going to have enough to finish the month out here. But we'll do it today. We did 5 tosses, and all of them were 210 sats. We accomplished nothing. So let's try it again today. Let's try to break the cold streak. Our Bitcoin well cold streak. All right, ready? Get your phones out. This is what you got to do. You get your Lightning wallet open, either Wallet of Satoshi, Speed Wallet, Coinos, I think works, LB Hub, any of those. You point it at the screen, you press send, which seems backwards, but you have to press send. That brings up your QR code scanner. And the first person to scan this QR code is going to win some Bitcoin, courtesy of our friends at Bitcoin Well. Ready, set, go. Yes. Yes. We finally snapped the coldie. Finally. God, that feels good. Some lucky person out there just won 2,100 sats. In about a decade from now, there's going to be people who work a couple months for that 2,100 sats. So congrats. Hopefully somebody got it. If not, I'm going to snipe it up on you. It's been claimed. Congrats. Whoever that was. Whoever got it. All right, so those sats are courtesy of Bitcoin Well. They do not pay me at all. They do not pay me one dime. They never have. They might, but they haven't yet. But I still love their platform. Number one, they're on Team Bitcoin. You want to be using an exchange dealing with your information that you trust. And I trust Bitcoin Well personally. They're on Team Bitcoin, not Team Government. They got the lowest fees in North America, maybe the world. And they have the best platform, the most features on there, especially if you're in Canada. If you're in Canada and you're not using Bitcoin Well as your number one primary Bitcoin platform, you're really messing up. You got Lightning withdrawals. You got free Lightning swaps. You can pay bills with Bitcoin instead of going through the fiat rails. And again, the lowest fees. Plus, you get to toss coins into the wishing well for more free Bitcoin. And if you use that link, bitcoinwell.com/Jor, you get 5 free tosses into the well, which equates to at least 1,000 sats, hopefully more. Hopefully more. Teacher. I guess teacher would be more accurate. I would say more along the lines of like trusted advisor who, unlike other Bitcoin channels, I admit that I'm giving advice. Other channels say this is not financial advice. Everything I say is financial advice. Rick, good morning. I'm late. Let's check the likes. 24 with 58 watching. We can do better. That's a good point. We absolutely can, Rick. And you know what? I never even told Nostr we were here. We are live. All right. Let's see what happens on Nostr. 60 people in here and 31 likes. Not bad. Online personality, I don't like that either. What's 5? Yeah, 5 tosses. I was going nuts. I was trying to snap our cold streak. And I failed. But maybe it worked today. Maybe it's just good karma for us today because we hit it right off the bat here. We'll all be on the same team when Canada becomes a 51st state. That is true. Thanks for being a good sport. No problem. We got to be good sports here in Canada because we're not looking too great overall. But we will be back. Okay. What's next here on my list? So I'm going to start doing some top news. I don't want to spend half an hour a show. I don't want to waste a bunch of time. There's enough shows that do Bitcoin news and stuff like that. So we'll keep up with a couple headlines and discuss what the true meaning is there, not what the mainstream tells you. But I also want to start featuring a piece of news from Nostr every day. So we're gonna be doing that. Let's see what we got here for news. X news. All right, so this is kind of cool actually. I should preface this with the fact that I really don't like Rumble, which is shitty. But anyways, this is the CEO of Rumble, Chris Pavlovski. Now that Tether is officially one of the largest shareholders of Rumble, it's time to get very aggressive with the Rumble ecosystem versus Google. Rumble Wallet started. Rumble AI, Rumble Mail, Rumble User Storage, Rumble Calendar. This is a taste of what we were thinking about. So again, I don't know if you've used Rumble before. It's not great. It's not great as a viewer perspective. It's not great from a creator perspective. There's a lot of holes in Rumble to me. And I do see there's a couple people over in Rumble today. So hello, Rumble. Hey, Matt's over there. Morning, Matt. I think Matt's in both chats here. Anyways, it is not the best platform today. I really hope that they just blow it up. They need to blow up Rumble. They need to rebuild the whole website, the whole platform, everything. Integrate all this stuff. But first, Rumble, you need to figure out your streaming site. It's very difficult for creators to upload content, to go live. There's just too much friction there. It's way too much friction. We need less friction with Rumble. So blow it up, start again, implement Bitcoin, Tether, whatever you want to do. But start with the foundation first. That's what Rumble needs to do. But either way, it's good to see. Content creator, no. Value exchanger, yes. That's a good way to put it. I like that. Santino says, how about Bitcoin Sensei? Sensi. I got you. I wouldn't say that either. But it's better than an influencer. Rai says, do you have a Blockstream Jade Plus? No. But I want to get one. I do want to get one because I actually really like the Blockstream Jade, normal one. There's a couple of things I don't love about it, honestly, but for the most part, it's a really good device. Very easy to use, very easy for a new Bitcoiner to figure out how to use it. And I think, from what I understand, the Jade Plus just has a little bit bigger screen. Better camera, bigger screen, which was the main drawback of the Blockstream Jade for me. It was just too small. So I do want to try it out. And something I'm going to start putting on my channel, actually. This is a special announcement. I don't know if anybody will give a shit or not. But this is a special announcement. I'm going to start doing some videos. I'm going to do a little series. I don't know if I'm going to do it live yet or recorded, but either way, I'm going to start reviewing different wallets, different devices, different exchanges, different Bitcoin products. I'm going to start reviewing them like a 5-10 minute video, like a kind of a how-to, but also pros, cons, that kind of stuff. And it's going to be fully non-sponsored, which I think is very important. So keep an eye out for that. I'm going to have a couple different playlists on my channel. I'm going to redo some things. Again, I got to start taking this stuff a little bit more seriously. I never wanted to be a YouTube guy, but that's what things have evolved into. So I have to start doing things properly. I have to start playing the game a little bit more, you might say. It's not going to have any negative impact on anybody. It's just going to be more stuff, more organized, more structured, which probably people will appreciate, honestly. Okay, let's get this banner off the screen here. Get out of there. Morning, Tommy. Good morning, Tommy D. The man, Tommy D. Rye says, cool, I was going to get a passport, but probably going with the Jade. Passport's awesome, too. Don't sleep on the passport. That's one sexy device. All right, we're going to skip this today. This doesn't really fit with what we're doing. What's next here? Okay. This is something that's interesting to me. I gave a bold prediction last week on the show. I gave a bold prediction on the show that I thought that Bitcoin was going to at least 2 or 3. We'll go with 3. We're not going to take it easy here. Let's go 3. I made a prediction last week that the price of Bitcoin would be 3x by the end of March. So we're running out of time here. We still got a month and a half. But apparently people disagree with me. So, you know what that means. It says traders on Kalshi think there's only a 13% chance Bitcoin will reach 150K in the first half of 2025. Do you think we can go over 50K in the next 4 months? So what I'm going to do today, I was going to do it live on the show today, but I couldn't really get my shit together in time. But I'm going to go on there today and I'm going to bet. I'm going to bet some sats. If it's a 13% chance, that means that my odds are going to be pretty good. And this is till July too, July 1st. So I would bet even if this was at the April 1st, I'd bet on this. So keep an eye out for that. I'll keep you posted with my bet and we'll see how it plays out. It's just got to reach 150. That's nothing. That would be very disappointing if we hit 150K before then. So I got to leave this open because I got to remember to go make that bet. Kelshi says, bet on anything, politics, sports, entertainment, crypto, weather, and so much more. I wonder if you can bet with sats. I'm guessing so. I'll probably buy some though because I don't want to gamble my sats away. Hey, Duncan's over in the Zap stream this morning. Zapped 888 sats for the dogs. So for people who are just showing up today, we made another announcement. We've had a couple announcements today. Oh, Rumble's buzzing. We got 10 people in Rumble watching. I must have summoned Rumble chat. Good morning, Rumble. But so one thing we're going to be doing every single Monday going forward now is all the zaps that come in from Zapstream and to Arnie's wallet here from the QR code, they're all going to be going towards our rescue dog fund. This is something we started back in 2024, and we grew it to, I think it was just under 150,000 sats. So far today, we've got 25,000 sats, 10,000 sats, 8,000 sats, 2,000 sats, 420, and 188. So that's a huge day for the dogs. So thank you. And I'm going to keep people updated with the balance every week, every Monday. And it's important. It's an important initiative. So I want to keep doing it. L. Joe McFly says, YouTube is still the platform to do it. You got it. Yeah, I think so too. For now. 10% sats back with fold on Jade is hard to beat. Yeah, that's fair. But, when you also have to not that I'm saying anything bad about the Jade, but I like the passport too. I think cold card. Cold card is number one for me. I can't lie about that because it's what I use. So Cold card, and then Jade and Passport are probably they got trade-offs. I'm going to be reviewing these wallets, so and we'll figure out who the clear-cut winner is. Cold card is a little bit more advanced, so but definitely not out of reach, especially if you hire somebody to help you with it for an hour. Bitcoin Citadel. If you need, we're going to be your go-to for anything, absolutely anything within Bitcoin. Hey, Parker, good morning. Holy Trinity, Cold Card, Jade, Passport. Yes. Avoid Ledger, Trezor, anything that supports shitcoins. 100%. Keep your Bitcoin pure. Keep it pure on wallets, on devices, on exchanges. Anything you do in Bitcoin, make sure it's Bitcoin only. Free. I like that name. Got a good name, good logo. Good morning. Passport is best since it's open source. Yeah. I don't know if it's best. It's good though. I like that it's open source. It's one thing that Cold Card's missing, but it's pretty much the exact same as why am I so blurry? There we go. All right, next. What we got next? We have. Let's start with this one. So just in case you've been living under a rock here for the last year, there's been a lot of big companies, a lot of big entities who have been quietly, very quietly accumulating a lot of MicroStrategy shares, also known as Strategy now. So I'm going to show you three different reports here of these huge entities, these big pools of capital who are buying MicroStrategy. And then we'll talk about it after. But let's start with the US public pension funds are absolutely going ham into MicroStrategy. As of late 2024, public pension funds and state treasuries in 12 US states held a combined 330 million Strategy shares. California leads with 83 million, followed by the state's public employee retirement fund. Wow. So California, a little bit of hope there maybe. I don't know. They got their teachers' retirement system and their public employees' retirement system for a combined of about, I don't know, $160 million worth of MicroStrategy shares. 330 million total though. And I'm not going to go through all of them. Hopefully you can see them there. But that's a pretty big deal. Ask yourself why. Why would these companies be holding MicroStrategy? What? All right, what's the next one here? We got some in Canada, I believe, as well. Here it is. The National Bank of Canada and the Bank of Montreal. Not to be mistaken, that is not the Bank of Canada, but the National Bank of Canada are loading up on MicroStrategy. National Bank added 525 million. Wow. While Bank of Montreal bought 790 million worth of shares. That is nuts. That is nuts. Canada getting in the game. And the last one I saw, I don't know if I sent this to myself or not, but where would that be? It was Lutnick, Howard Lutnick of Cantor Fitzgerald. They released their Q4 report, their financial statements, showing that they have $1 billion worth of MicroStrategy shares. $1 billion worth of MicroStrategy shares. Keep in mind, the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald is Howard Lutnick, also known as Trump's head of commerce within his administration, also known as a guy who's responsible for managing the sovereign wealth fund. And when I think it was David Sachs was asked whether or not they're going to add Bitcoin to the sovereign wealth fund of the US, he said, Howard is going to be the guy who gets to decide that kind of stuff. So just put a couple pieces together here, connect a few dots on your own, and pretty good chance the U.S. Sovereign Wealth Fund will have some Bitcoin in it with Howard Lutnick at the reins. But think about why. We got these state pension funds. We got these banks in Canada. We got Cantor Fitzgerald. Total of 330. What was the other one? 790 and 5. A lot. A couple $1 billion worth of MicroStrategy shares through these entities are holding right now. But why? Because they can't own Bitcoin. They can't hold Bitcoin. They really want to hold Bitcoin, but they cannot hold Bitcoin. And so for anybody out there who's like looking at this and saying, oh man, all these big entities are buying MicroStrategy shares, I should probably get one. Well, yes, for sure. But keep in mind here that the reason they're buying MicroStrategy shares is because they can't buy Bitcoin. If they could buy Bitcoin and hold it themselves, they absolutely would. And the good news for you is that you can. Unless you're a public company, unless you're a pension fund, you probably can hold Bitcoin yourself. So that's what they want to do. You have the ability to do that. So if you have the option between Bitcoin and MicroStrategy, you should be 100% into Bitcoin. With the money that you do have available, that should be in Bitcoin. Any money you have trapped in a traditional system, in your pension fund, your retirement account, MicroStrategy. But everything else, you have the ability to hold Bitcoin. Be your own sailor. Be your own strategy for your family. You don't need MicroStrategy here. You are the strategy. So it's a pretty big deal. Pretty big deal within the Bitcoin world, I would say. It's very clear what's happening here if you're paying attention at all. Rise says Trezor is set to Bitcoin only, but still would like to switch to eliminate the 100%. Yes, exactly. Don't. The one thing I would say in Bitcoin for anybody out there is just don't take it lightly. Don't take it lightly. You know exactly what you're holding here. You do. In the back of your mind, you know exactly what you're holding here. And in the back of your mind, you probably know that you're not securing it as best you possibly could. So don't panic. You don't need to be full of fear or stress or anything. This is it's a slow process, but you should every day be taking actionable steps towards increasing your security a little bit better every day. Laugh Pad, good morning. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Let's get to the last piece of news here. Buck52 says Kamala wants to be the governor of California. Oh, God. She's still around. Proof that Bitcoin is for everyone. Yep. M. Vincent says if 450 Bitcoin are mined each day, how many are being bought each day? Is the supply or demand winning? You take a look at Bitcoin objectively, how many new Bitcoin are created versus how many Bitcoin are being bought every day. It is a very, very dramatic separation there, disconnect. Very, very dramatic disconnect there between the people buying Bitcoin, the amount of Bitcoin being bought up versus the new amount of Bitcoin coming onto the market. Very big variance there. That's where the opportunity is, though. Plan B sold all of his Bitcoin for the ETF. Yeah, what a dipshit. What a dipshit. That's the best way to say it. Anybody who's, I get it. This is what I would say. For anybody out there who's like somewhat new to Bitcoin and you're wanting to buy a bunch, like you got to the point where you figured out that Bitcoin is going to be the only asset that matters in a couple decades from now, and you want to just, ape into Bitcoin, the ETF is a good play. ETF, MicroStrategy, great plays. Because you can't really screw that up. But for somebody like Plan B, like I don't know the guy personally or follow him very much, but like if you spend any time in Bitcoin, you understand the importance of holding your own Bitcoin. The fact that nobody can suspend your account, nobody can shut you down, nobody can rug you from it. You own that Bitcoin, you take custody of it, nobody can fuck with you. You're unfuckwithable. And I actually saw a really good quote here that makes me think about this. This is something I want to be putting as one of our, like, I don't know, not catchphrases, but like one of the things we promote on Bitcoin Citadel is this quote, which is, if I can find it, which says that you can build a financial wall around your family that nothing can get through. You can. You can build a financial wall around your family that nothing can get through. It's possible. And that's what you should be striving for. And having your Bitcoin holdings in an ETF does not accomplish that strategy at all. At all. It might make you richer, but it does not build that financial wall around your family for the next 100 years at all. I like that you are the strategy. Yeah, you are. Absolutely. Everybody wants to own MicroStrategy. Just be your own strategy. You have the ability. You can hold Bitcoin. You can take custody of it. And that's the most freeing thing that you can do for yourself and for your family. By far. What else was there? Oh, we got our Nostr news for today. Let's check in with what's going on in Nostr here. This was a good one. This was from Max DeMarco, one of our favorite. We would call him a content creator, I think. I'm not a content creator. Max is a content creator. But he posted on Nostr here, 3-2-1 rule for peak energy and recovery. Number 1, 3 hours before bed, no food. 2 hours before bed, no work. 1 hour before bed, no screens. This one simple framework fixes your sleep, improves recovery, and boosts focus without supplements. Try it for a week. You'll never go back. And the beautiful thing about Nostr is people who like this were able to send him zaps, send him Bitcoin. So we got 50 sats, he got 42 sats, 42, 21, 21 for that post. Pretty low, but still 244 very scarce units of currency, Bitcoin. So I like that. And now you got to ask yourself, does anybody follow this right now? 3 hours before bed, no food. 2 hours before bed, no work. 1 hour before bed, no screens. I do not. I do not follow that at all. I'd be horrible for that. But I think it's worth trying for sure. The food one would be hard for me. I like having a couple chips at night if I'm watching TV or whatever. 2 hours before bed, I could probably do this. I usually stop working around 9 latest, so I'm pretty good with that. But no screens, that'll be a tough one too. I think this would be the hardest one for people. No TVs, no cell phones. If you could just do this one, I think you'd be feeling way better about yourself. I don't know. Do you guys got any other things we should add to this for peak energy and recovery? One thing I do want to do in this next year, in the next chapter of the Daily Bitcoin Journey, is focus a lot on the health aspect of things, because it is just important to me as the financial side of things here, but the health side. So I'm going to be setting up today, hopefully, some of my new blue light blockers. I got two big lights here that I'm going to put up in front of me that's supposed to counteract the blue light from staring at a screen all day. No LED bulbs. No LED bulbs. Yes, it's a big one. So I got some glasses that I wear now at night and in the morning. I got my red light from Roger, and I got my lights now that I'm going to put in front of my screen. So when I'm looking at blue light all day, I won't be it won't be so hard on me. Ahsoka, good morning. Good morning, my friend. All right, we got a couple questions over here in Zapstream. I'll get to those in just one sec. Bodhi says, Malay, the most recent 0 hour. What's that mean? I've been seeing lots about Malay, but I didn't really look into it. What happened with him? Sean says, is the Bitcoin price being suppressed? For how long can it go on? I think it absolutely is right now. It is absolutely being suppressed as much as they possibly can. But at the same time, it's, you know, as Bitcoiners, we like to think that like different news events, different Jay Powell events, different reports, these different things that happen day to day, we think that they're going to have a huge impact on Bitcoin. But for the most part, it has nothing to do with that. Nothing. There's much bigger factors at play here. And a lot of it has to do with the liquidity in the markets. And so if you look back 4 years ago today, we went from $9,000 in February to $60,000 in April or March, even one of the two. But that's what happened last time. And it had nothing to do with like Trump being president. This was back in 2020. This was after Joe Biden won the election. That's what happened last time after the halving, after the new supply gets chopped in half. So I don't know if it's being suppressed. I think that it is to an extent. But talk to me at the end of March or April. Just appreciate, you know, how many sats you can get for $1 right now. By the way, I don't like promoting my own stuff very much. Do I? I don't know. Well, we got 8,811 subscribers on YouTube. That's a good number. 8811. But if you watch this, if you got some time today, actually, I'm going to cut the video off here soon. I'm going to try to keep these lives to about an hour for my own, for a couple of reasons. But if you look at this video here, this will tell you, you know, not to really cheer on the price too much. And it's called the hidden cost of waiting. I encourage you to check this out. This is important to understand. Once you see Bitcoin through this lens, your perspective around the price of Bitcoin will change forever. When you see it like that, when you see actual numbers and you go to work every day and whatever your take home is, you put that into Bitcoin, as the price goes up, you lose a significant amount of your purchasing power. It's crazy. Like our wages in real terms are going to go down forever. And the higher the price goes, the more we're going to get paid in sats. So I try to, you know, explain that as best I can using the spreadsheet showing the last couple of years, what I expect in the next couple of years today, and just check it out. Check it out. You'll feel much differently about the price of Bitcoin and cheering it on, because we're just going to get paid less and less. The most you're going to make probably in your life is today, going forward. Another thing, I was supposed to mention this at the top of the show today, but I forgot to. But if you aren't yet, make sure you're also checking out Maple Bitcoin. We had our first kind of viral video over the weekend. No, I wouldn't call it viral, but half-ass viral. It's called Becoming a Bitcoin Millionaire. So we actually talked about the same kind of thing. Rajat wanted to talk about what I was just talking about basically there, in terms of we're going to be earning less and less as time goes on. So you gotta get it while you can. Don't root for the price to go up. Root for the price to stay down as long as possible, because then you get more sats. And at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. Look at yourself as a buyer, not a seller. So we almost got 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube, which is kind of cool. We've only had this channel for a week. So shout out to everybody who has been subscribing. And if you're interested, definitely check that out and press the notification so you see when we release our new videos. Okay, so we got Duncan here's got a question. For multisig, would you use 3 of the same hardware devices, i.e. 3 cold cards, or 3 different ones? Thanks in advance. There's a couple different theories on that. Honestly, I like the idea of doing like 3 cold cards myself. That way you kind of get a feel, you know what you're doing. You can be comfortable. You don't have to learn 3 different devices. they're same, but they're different. So the risk there would be that cold card goes under and the devices are hacked and you lose all 3 of your Bitcoin. The opposite side of that would be you get a passport, a Jade, and a cold card. And even if something happened to one of those companies or, their data got leaked, however, I don't know, that's still only one of your signing devices. So even if somebody accessed that or hacked it, they couldn't do anything with your Bitcoin. So that's kind of the reason why you would go with 3 different ones. But for me, I don't know. I would recommend going with three of the same. But at the same time, it also depends what you have. Let's say that you have a Blockstream Jade right now, and that's what you've been using, but you want to get a multisig. Then I definitely would be going to, I would at least have one cold card in there. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense to, it makes logical sense to use 3 different ones because then you can't get rugged. I have a hard time believing that any of those 3 companies, CoinKite, Foundation, Blockstream, could or would rug anybody, but it's not the point. It could happen. So, I mean, the best answer there is probably to get one of each. And again, they are very similar in terms of how you set them up, how you send, how you do everything within the devices there. Patsy, good morning. Zap 420 sats for the dogs, and Plunger, not to be outdone, zapped 888 sats for the Rescue Dog Fund. The Rescue Fund is back. And we got one from Arnie's wallet here, from Josh. Morning, I'm guessing Josh. Morning, Jor and Arnie can't be there this morning, but enjoy the day. Thinking so. All right. What else we got here? No LED bulbs yet, no fiat food, no sugar. Watch sunrise and sunset. I think sunrise is more important, but that's good advice. Laughpad says, anyone thinking about the fact that Super Bowl didn't show any crypto ads? Not a single ad for any crypto companies or exchanges. Who controls the ads? Who's buying Bitcoin? That's a very good point. Very good point. And that's why, to me, it's like everybody has their worries and concerns that the US is going to start buying shit coins and adding it to the reserve and pumping their own bags. No, they're not. I mean, they might, but that's not their focus here. If they're telling you that's their focus, they're distracting you. The only thing that anybody gives a shit about is Bitcoin, realistically. And there's not a whole lot of YouTube channels that will tell you that because they have their own incentives and their own reasons for wanting crypto and altcoins to succeed. But the reality is that the only thing that people care about today and in 50 years from now is going to be Bitcoin, without a doubt. Nick, good morning. Pipeline. That's okay. 52 minutes late. We're still here. Not for very long, but we're still here. Crack a window. Yep. That's a good one. Red and purple light spectrums will help balance. Good idea too. Lots of good info here. Also, for your stress and anxiety, turn off your notifications for investments. That's a good call. Mert says, what happened to the Friday show? Talking about the Bitcoin amigos. There's a couple disagreements that built up over time. I've answered this question a couple times now, but whatever. It's kind of shitty that we didn't do an actual, announcement that we're going to stop doing the Bitcoin amigos. It kind of happened fast. It really caught me by surprise, and it was really none of my business to talk about for a while. So, a couple of disagreements. I think everybody's still friends. We might do a reunion show once in a while or get back to it. Who knows? Guys usually move on. That's why I'm surprised that, what went down did, but that's life. So we're going to actually be doing Friday streams now with Maple Bitcoin. So if you're not subscribed over there, make sure you check the notifications because we're going to be doing it exclusively from day one on the Bitcoin or Maple Bitcoin channel. So again, just in case. Pipeline says, I was watching Bitcoin University said about the over-the-counter that there will always be plenty of sellers for OTC, and I just can't believe that because there will be a time when I think no one will sell. I don't know if we'll ever see a time where nobody will sell. I think people will always be selling their Bitcoin because everybody bought it at different prices, right? If you bought your Bitcoin at $5,000 per Bitcoin, 100K looks pretty good and life is pretty short. And just like when we're at $1 million Bitcoin and people bought it back at 60 or 100K, they're probably going to cash some of that in and buy a few things that they need in their life or want in their life. So there's always going to be sellers. I do think that what we're seeing right now is some manipulation, some suppression, a lot of paper Bitcoin. I just don't know how long that's going to be the case for. I don't think they'll be able to do it forever. Once it becomes kind of normalized and standardized to be showing proof of reserves, that's when we'll see the true scarcity of Bitcoin. No problem, Duncan. I hope that makes sense. It's there's no real right answer for everybody. That's why I think that something like Bitcoin Citadel is so important for the Bitcoin community. Because one of the things that we're going to do differently at Bitcoin Citadel is we don't really have like prepackaged plans and stuff to kind of push you into that we think you need. We're basically just going to set up a call. We're going to figure out where you are, what you want, what we think you need, and then make a plan to get there, whatever that looks like based on your situation, not based on what the Bitcoiners say you should do. So that includes your initial security, that includes your key management, that includes your UTXO management, that includes your inheritance planning and getting to a point where you have multisig or encryption or both. This stuff's serious. This stuff is, you really have to be taking this stuff seriously. You have to be. So the website's not up yet, but if you do want to set up a quick call, you can just shoot me an email, and myself or somebody from Bitcoin Citadel will definitely help you out. So I'm very excited for that group of people. Very knowledgeable. We've been working at this for about 6 months now, and we're just about ready to go. We're just about ready to go, and there's a lot of demand for it out there right now, and soon to be more. All right, well, I think we're going to wrap things up here in case if there's not any more chats or any more questions. What was I going to do here? I don't know. Anyways, start wrapping things up. Let's start wrapping things up. So I think that's good. Usually I do a giveaway at the end, but I guess we've already did that. So I'm going to be restructuring this a little bit. I'm going to try to keep these shows to 1 hour. I'm going to be coming out with more clips on the channel with different reviews, different thoughts. I'm going to be leaning a little bit more into like the Maple Bitcoin side of things and trying to make content with Rajat and Forrest. So these shows are going to be a little bit shorter for sure. There's a couple other things I'm working on. I don't need to really announce it, but you'll see soon. I also had a couple people reach out about the Lactico stuff, which is very exciting to me. It's going to be a big part of the show going forward here. Pipeline. So much were built on top of Manhattan land and the owners never sold the land and are still fabulously wealthy. Yep. I think layers on top of Bitcoin will make Bitcoin owners wealthy without selling. 100%. Okay, so let's call it a day here today. So once again, I want to say thank you to, I think it was Rise and River for 25,000 sats. Somebody sent in 10,000 sats for the rescue dogs, for the pups. Josh sent in 888. LaughPad just sent in 21. Thank you, LaughPad. Plunger, 888. Pasty, 420. And look who shows up to say hi to everybody. Your fun got some sass today, man. Say thanks. Some big saps. Oh. Who else we got? We had Duncan with 888 sats, Daniel with 8,888 sats, Craig with 2,100, and Letha Legendary with 420 sats. So thank you, everybody. It was a good turnout on Zapstream today and a great showing on YouTube. So I hope you have a great Monday today, and we'll see you right back here first thing tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.